A game that was announced at Gamescom 2023 at opening night live was Killing Floor 3. This is a franchise, guys, I know very little about up to this point in time, but when they announced it at Gamescom, I gotta tell you, it is one of my most anticipated games of the future now because, first of all, it being an FPS, which of course, you know, Call of Duty is one of my favorite games of all time, and it being an FPS horror experience, and it's got co-op and all of these other, you know, elements to it, makes me very, very excited about this franchise. And what we could maybe see out of it are things that I want to talk about in this first segment of the show. So let's talk about everything that we know up to this point about Killing Floor 3. Let's have a real conversation about it in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, this is an article that is coming to us from PC Gamer and Tyler Wild of the company, saying that Tripwire has revealed that the 6-player co-op FPS sequel is in development now. So Valve is, of course, allergic to the number stopping at Left 4 Dead 2, and that series was spiritually continued by Turtle Rock with Back 4 Blood, whose name alludes to it being the 4th game in the co-op zombie FPS series, despite no 3rd game existing. It started to feel like the number really was cursed, but Tripwire has now grounded us with the announcement of Killing Floor 3 at Gamescom. So, that being said, guys, the first thing I want to say is, yeah, Valve is a company that we had wanted a spiritual successor, or we wanted a continuation really of Left 4 Dead, and we never got it. Now, Valve, of course, came back around and they made a sequel to CSGO, which was something that I was like, had been saying on this YouTube channel, pounding the table, saying we need a CSGO 2. They finally did that, but in ways, Valve has been very complacent, and there's been a lot of other companies that are now coming into the fray that are competing against that of Left 4 Dead, even though Killing Floor 3 has things that remind me of a Left 4 Dead. It's got a lot of Doom elements to it. It's got a lot of other elements and other games within it. You can just tell. But that being said, I'm really excited for this game to exist for sure. Maybe even something kind of similar to like a Rainbow Six Extraction. I'm really, like I said, Killing Floor 3 though, from what we saw of the announcement and everything, I'm all in on this game so far. So it never went as mainstream as Left 4 Dead, but the Killing Floor series has deep PC roots. It started as an Unreal Tournament 2004 mod, which Tripwire turned into a standalone game in 2009. In 2016, the developer released Killing Floor 2, which today sustains a modest but healthy base of players, some of whom play on bizarre modded servers last time I checked. That's what you want to see in a long-running multiplayer PC game. So Killing Floor 3, guys, this will be another class-based shooter where up to 6 players run around urban and rural areas killing waves of zombies, mutant Zeds in the fiction, and fighting grotesque bosses. The year is 2091, 70 years after the events in Killing Floor 2, and Megacorp Horzine has produced the ultimate army, an obedient horde of bioengineered monstrosities called Zeds, the studio said in a press release. Now the only thing standing between these infernal creatures and the future of humanity is the rebel rogue group known as Nightfall. So, obviously, guys, this is what seems to be, even though, you know, you're going up against waves and waves of the horde, the Zeds, it seems to me that you're going to be going at this thing with a number of other people. Like I said, having a co-op experience is absolutely huge. What's going to be interesting to me is, will this only be a co-op game? They're kind of dubbing it as just a co-op experience. Are you going to be able to play this solo? Are you going to be able to, are there going to be other multiplayer modes? Because this kind of reminds me, yes, of course, of Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, but even games like Gears of War's Horde mode, which obviously Gears of War is another one of my favorite games of all time. So when you're mixing some of these things into this package, that's what gets me so excited about this title. Now, one thing Killing Floor 2 particularly prided itself on was its gore, and based on the Gamescom teaser, Tripwire hasn't lost its passion for this. Harnessing the power of Unreal Engine 5, Tripwire will build upon the legacy of the series, realizing its gruesome graphical vision, read the press release. Now, there is no release date that has been announced for Killing Floor 3 yet, but it does have a Steam page which says it's coming soon. Tripwire hasn't otherwise hinted about how far along it is, saying in the press release that Killing Floor 3 is currently in development for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. So obviously, guys, the main things here, we don't have a release date. Right now, what we know is that it is absolutely a co-op FPS horror game, and that's all I need to know. Really, at this point. Obviously, I would love to know when the release date's going to be, but all I will say to Tripwire, if any of the folks over there are watching this, is look, at the bottom line is that there is a lot of people excited about this title. People who didn't even know about Killing Floor, about the franchise up to this point, like myself, who are now invested into like learning more about this franchise, and we're about to, I'm definitely going to be going back and playing the other games for sure after seeing this announcement trailer, but I'm really excited now about the future and what Killing Floor 3 really could all be about. Like I said, so many great horror games are coming out, but what I love about this is that this has a lot of, it seems like it's taken things from a number of different games, like, like I said, Doom, Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, GTFO even, Rainbow Six Extraction. I really want this game to not only be a game that is awesome at launch, but has a roadmap for the future. A lot of things that are going to get added to it over time, because I want this to be an experience that you come back to over and over again. Now, it being co-op, if it's only going to be a co-op experience, what's tough about that is, even though I think it's awesome, it would be awesome if there was a story mode, even if it was later down the road, and then there was also, multiplayer modes where you could go up against other people across the globe, right? We talk about the full package all the time, that being single player, multiplayer, and co-op modes, and this obviously has one of those things, right? Co-op, which I think is great because it gets you to play with other people, but it would be also really neat to see if we're going to have any single player experiences, and then if we want to go versus other people, like a PvP sort of style where you're playing as the corporation, and then there's obviously the Zeds would be what you're going up against. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, and I'm going to be giving you guys more information as it comes out, and it'd be awesome if we can get some of the guys and girls over at Tripwire here on the show to talk about Killing Floor 3. So I would love to see something like that happen so that we can have real conversation about it in the future. But so far, what do you guys think about Killing Floor 3? Are you guys really excited about it? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Killing Floor 3 content and videos, stay here with zrotv.